So I haven't posted a video for a super long time, but I'm trying to get back on it. Just got super busy with class and with finals and everything, but things have finally slowed down. Summer started, so I have a little bit more time to do this. And the video I've been wanting to make, and something I've been thinking about for a while, focuses on the difference between physical and software products. And this is kind of an obscure topic, maybe not necessarily obscure, but not super common topic to talk about. But the reason it came to the forefront of my mind was because at my university we have two big programs for entrepreneurship. One is called the Crocker Fellowship, where you focus on building IoT products, and the other is called Sandbox, and Sandbox exclusively focuses on software products and SaaS products. And I was thinking about this, and I have been thinking about this, like, why do these two problems exist, and why doesn't one just become the other? Why don't they merge and become the same? Because the purpose is very much the same, in the sense that you're trying to create a new product. And there are some small minute differences between the two, which I won't cover, but that was just one thing that had crossed my mind, was why do we have to draw this distinction between the two? And so today I kind of wanted to talk about the difference between the process of building a hardware product, whether it be like a gaming console or a camera or a wearable, a watch, something like that, versus building a software solution, which an app on your phone and things like that. So that's what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to kind of just throw my whole thinking process out there. Why are the two so different? What makes them difficult? What are the pros and cons of each one, and that sort of thing. So in my experience, I'm actually part of the Crocker Fellowship, which, like I said, focuses on building IoT products, meaning there has to be some physical aspect of the product. In my experience in that program, there are a couple things you need that may not come to your mind when you think of, maybe when you have an idea come to your head and know, like, oh, I really want to build this product, it's a physical product, things like that. There's some things that you need to take into account when doing that. The first one is the team required for a physical product is much bigger than it is for a software product. A software product you could essentially build on your own if you have, code experience, whether that's in web development or in mobile application development, anything like that, or even if you're just you've never developed before, but you have background in, like, I don't know, some programming technology, you could, albeit probably have a difficult time, but you could essentially build out an entire software solution, software as a service product as your own, or on your own. And we've seen people do that, with small teams. For example, Craigslist is, a team of less than 10 people, I think. Don't quote me on that, but it's a very small team, and their business is worth, billions of dollars or millions of dollars. And there are other companies that are like that, startups that are built by one or two people that eventually scale out to, billions of dollars. Those software solutions can be built by, a very small amount of people, because you don't have to worry about, some of the physical aspects that come with a physical product. On the flip side of that, you have to be aware of all of those physical elements of the product, and you need people who can specialize or who can develop those physical aspects of the product. So instead of, let's say in a SaaS product, you're just worried about the UX design and you're worried about the architecture, the tech stack behind it and how data flows and what the data is doing, things like that. On a software solution or on a physical solution, you have to worry about those things as well if it's an IoT product, but you also have to worry about, how does this product feel in the hand? What message does this deliver when someone opens the box and sees this? What is their first impressions? It's a very visceral, a very different feeling when you're holding a physical product as opposed to a SaaS product. And so your team gets a lot bigger, because you now need mechanical engineers if there's working pieces behind it. You now need designers who can design the physical aspects, the shape, dimensions, things like that of a product, and they have to work in conjunction with the actual functionality of the product. So your electrical engineer has to make sure that the hardware that's in this product has to be able to, execute on the logic or execute on the tasks that you originally wanted to, right? That it has to be functional, and that has to fit within this body that's designed by, your engineer or your designer, and that has to meet certain specifications in terms of how rugged it is, or how does it, what materials is it made out of and things like that. So instead of being able to build a solution on your own, you need minimum 4 or 5 people to be able to do this. And that's just, I'm speaking very generally. There are probably people who can pull off an entire, IoT hardware product on their own, props to them. I know I definitely can't, and I don't have the expertise to do that. Another big difference, and probably the biggest difference between, you know, hardware products and software products, is the market size. As we have, you know, advanced into the technology age, more and more of what you do is on your phone. It used to be your phone could only text and call, right? And so communication was now on your mobile phone, and that was the only products that people were really building for electronic devices. And there was, like, you know, radio, TV, that kind of stuff. And entertainment was generally more of like a physical product. So you bought like toys when you were a kid, you know, shoes, balls, all those things that you, like, you know, you kind of use to go outside and do things. But as we've grown and moved into more of the technological age of our society, where everyone has a phone, computers are widely available, you know, any person has anywhere from 1 to 5 computers on their person at any time, if you're counting like wearables and other smart accessories, things like that. The amount, or I guess the market size, the opportunity to build a product, to build a SaaS product, has just grown exponentially. Whereas I would say that the market to make a physical product has probably shrunk, because adults are, you know, spending more and more time on their phones and on their devices for entertainment and for utility. And children and, you know, younger people are also doing that, where, you know, even a lot of your courses, right, your classes might have materials that are supplemented by SaaS solutions like online textbooks and online learning materials, things like that. And not only that, but your entertainment as well. So kids are now going to, you know, their devices for Netflix, they're going there for games, they're going there to their devices for all sorts of things. And so that has become more or less the norm. And, you know, these physical products, when you're in that age of, you know, 8 to 60, 65, a lot of those physical products, both for utility and for entertainment, have moved over to your devices. And so, like I said, just to summarize, this point that I've been trying to make is the market size, or I guess the opportunity for SaaS solutions, has grown exponentially, whether that be in entertainment or for utility purposes, whereas the market size for these physical products has shrunk. Probably the last point that I want to make in this conversation, and this is not the only point, you know, the things that I have talked about are not the only restrictions and the only differences when it comes to physical and software products, but these are just the ones that came to the front of my mind, and so I wanted to make sure I put them in this video. The last one that I wanted to touch on is actually marketing. Marketing a hardware product is not necessarily as easy as marketing a software product, for a couple reasons. So a lot of the platforms that you can market on are available to both of these products. So say, example, if you want to post ads on Instagram, you've got a knife sharpener, right? You can post that product on Instagram, Facebook, across the internet, you know, Google ads, whatever you want, Facebook ads. And software solution is the same way. However, if you go a step past that, for example, when a user actually wants to try a product, that is a lot harder to do with a physical product than it is a software product. So say, let's take this knife sharpener versus a game where you sharpen knives. If you want to try out the game where you sharpen knives, people can just direct you over to an app store where you can have some download 30-day trial where you can immediately start using that. For a knife sharpener, that's not available. That same experience where you can just try something to see if you like it is not available for physical products, and it makes it much more of a commitment to buy them. And so, for example, let's say you have this knife sharpener, you have to go in and actually put the product in your cart, you have to buy the product, that customer has to fully convert all the way through the process, then get the product and use the product. And so that duration between, you know, interest and actually being able to use it is so long, and it's so much more difficult, and there's a lot more friction on the physical product side of that than there is opposed to the software solution side of that for a game, for example. And that's it. Those are just some of my brief thoughts on the differences between, you know, physical products and software solutions, software products. I'm not sure if this was useful for anyone. If anything, this was more of an audio or a video journal for myself, to kind of keep track of my thoughts. But if you liked what I talked about today, or if you have any thoughts that you want to add, please make sure to add them in the comments and let me know. Thank you.